It's a craziness that I've likened. Well, I call them academia nuts, let's just put it like that. They've got this concept that the world is the way it is because they've been told the way it is. Now, to break into that shell of asking that question to themselves, because that's what intelligent people do, they ask questions rather than just read the information. Have I been duped? Right? Am I being bullshitted here? Right? It's that point in the conversation with the salesman when you start to realize that this salesman's actually telling you lies to get you to buy something. And how best do you deal with this relationship is you cut the relationship off. Now, I understand that there are certain fields of expertise where people, need to get their qualifications in order to get it. To be a doctor, for example. But the problem is the medical industry is the leading cause of fucking death. So how's that working out for you? You know, you got your qualification. That means you're a professional now. Is it? Does it mean you're safe? Huh?
They don't know anything about nutrition, for example. I know plenty of people who went to medical school and they drink Diet Coke and they take their vaccines and they eat GMOs. They have no concept of simple facts about what you think a doctor might be involved with, health. I mean, those two things seem to go together, yet they're completely two different worlds. And so, yeah, the medical establishment is really an arm of the pharmaceutical insurance establishment. And so they're, just like you were saying about everything else being private, corporate, mainstream versions of everything. Well, that's what medicine is its own basically dysgenics operation, while it simultaneously saps everybody's pensions and savings as you're paying for all these treatments that the system itself caused through the garbage that you ate your whole life.
Yeah, like it's a very simple dynamic. If you want to make some money as a pharmaceutical company that kills a whole lot of people with its drugs that are very, very dangerous, it's a simple fix. You fund universities and tell them to exclude certain other treatments from their curriculum of medicine, and then, when all these graduates come out, they only recommend one thing to their patients: your medicine. If you are in a dental school, you might find out that that dental school is funded by Colgate, who are big fluoride proponents. And what are they going to teach you about fluoride then? Are they going to teach you the truth, that it's one of the kind of worst carcinogen ever discovered? They're not going to do that, are they? No, they're going to give you the mainstream establishment line. You go on and you replicate the program. Now, every program, however, has ghosts in the machine. We heard of this concept, right, where even though a part of the machine, even if it's mechanical or digital, is being programmed in a certain way, it has the ability to respond and change in ways that cannot be predicted. And I think this is what happens to people like you and me when we go into the system and we start to realize that it is a system and that we are part of the code and we don't fit in because we're a fractured code.
Yeah, and the irony of it is that, for example, I was doing philosophy, and one assumes that the discipline of philosophy is about critical thinking and reasoning through positions. And actually, I know this is unheard of, but reading the other guy's position and trying to understand it to some degree, right? And so when you actually try to put that into practice, when you're in the midst of college classes or whatever, you start to realize that that's not what you're there for. And so, for example, I mentioned earlier Tragedy and Hope, which is this big, massive tome by Dr. Carol Quigley about the history of the West from the Council on Foreign Relations archives, a very prominent figure who basically wrote an apologetic, a defense of the West, saying that everything that we've been doing for the last 20 or for the 20th century that the bankers have run, this is all good because ultimately it's going to produce liberal democracy for the world. Well, I had the book with me one day in grad class, and I was reading it, and the professor, for whatever reason, he was the head of the English department, the radical Marxist that I'm talking about, this insane collectivist, stands up and he says, you know, there's some idiots out there that actually believe that there's a move for global government. And I said, well, actually, there is. I'm reading a book from those guys at the global government at the CFR, and they talk about it. And he said, oh, let me guess, you're one of these Glenn Beck people. And I was like, no, I can't stand Glenn Beck. He's fucking awful, right? And so we ended up in this huge fight. The guy kicks me out of class, because I started reading quotes from Tragedy and Hope. So if you actually do what our school had this motto, like this, one of those cheese ball banners that they hang up everywhere, that's like, we, our students are all about excellence and studiousness and all this bullshit, right? So I'm showing you excellence, studiousness, critical thinking, and it gets me kicked out of the fucking class. So what better example than that?
Yeah, it's like when you join the cops to protect and serve, and you find that the first thing you're doing is protecting the bankers and serving people warrants.
Yeah, and dealing drugs, right?
I mean, hey, man's got to eat, right?
Well, I don't know how it is where you are, but I mean, the cops around here, it's
the same deal. Okay,
yeah, right.
All right, it's cops, gangs, judiciary, intelligence agencies, drugs.
Yeah.
All in this beautiful little nexus, so that it goes round in a perpetual merry-go-round where the prison industrial complex gets a whole bunch of new slaves for their little roadside projects as well, that they can filter off to their criminal friends. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
And sometimes the universities are actually involved in those drug rings because it's a great market for selling drugs. Now that's lower on the totem pole, but we've had universities around here, large ones, 40,000 kids. Get busted for being part of a larger drug ring. So not only that, the university I attended was busted for a large, I kid you not, textbook, what do you call it? A plagiarism scandal, right? So the guy who's tied into providing textbooks was actually just printing his own copies of other people's textbooks. And this was a huge scandal, locally speaking, obviously. But I mean, that's what you're getting into. It's like these people are immensely corrupt, even at the local level. And especially amongst these institutions, these so-called prestigious universities that are getting millions and millions of people's tax dollars and private donations. It's a racket.
Yeah, it's just a scam, just like any other.